we'll chant one additional name of Puja Gurudev today, along with a few of the previous names. Om Paramaya Namaha. Om Parabrahmane Namaha. Om Pavanaya Namaha. Om Pavakaya Namaha. Om Purushottamaya Namaha. Om Prasannatmane Namaha. Om Prasaktirahitaya Namaha. Om Bahubhaktaya Namaha. Om Bandhamochakaya Namaha. Om Bandhamochakaya Namaha. Bandhamochaka. Bandha Mochaka, one of Gurudev's name, means one who frees us from bondage. One who frees us from bondage. And it's amazing, you have to see this Mahatma in his glory, that anything that even smelled remotely of bondage, he will kick it off, even though it belonged to tradition. Anything that smells even of bondage. Like, for example, when somebody gives a mantra in the air, I'm giving an example. When somebody gives you a mantra in the air, that thing smelled of bondage. Because that person becomes bound to that. This man may be totally unqualified in every way. But because he gave that mantra in the air, he binds this fella for the rest of his life. So therefore in Chinmaya mission there was no such thing. To give anybody any mantra in their air. And you know what happened to that person? He said, no, this man is my guru now. I am going to listen to nobody else. I'm not going by nobody else. Because he is my guru. So that man bound to this person cannot teach him anything, but he is not going to listen to anybody. Yes, that is bondage or not? Bondage. So then this practice was eliminated. Do not do this thing. So, in that way, anything that even smelled of bondage, eschew that. In this way, he is seen as one who frees, bandha mochaka, one who frees us. And therefore, he concentrated on this one thing that can free a human being. And that is only jnana, knowledge, and nothing. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate. We saw, na? In the 4th chapter and all. There is nothing that purifies us, removes our bondage of ignorance. Nothing like knowledge. All other things, they will help along the way, you know. See, it is the feet that walk. The stick will only help, isn't it? When we hold the stick, that will only help us to walk. But really, the stick can't walk. In fact, you have to carry the stick. Yeah. Therefore, it is a walking stick, yeah. It is, even though it is a walking stick, we call it a walking stick, but the stick doesn't walk. We have to make it walk. Everything in spirituality is like that. They are only an aid, a help. Really, in the final analysis, only knowledge, jnanam, can remove ajnana and remove all of our bondage. Our bondage is called the ajnana. So his bandha mochaka means he's the one who gave that atma jnana. Therefore, in that last line of that bhajan on Guru we sing, na? Aao Gurudev darshan dijo, तुम हो जगत के दाता, तुम हो जगत के दाता। नाथ नाथा दीन बंधु, नाथ नाथा दीन बंधु, तुम हो आनंद रूपा। अज्ञान नाशक शरण संरक्षक, अज्ञान नाशक, अज्ञान नाशक शरण संरक्षक। आत्मज्ञान प्रदाता, आओ गुरुदेव दर्शन दीजो, आओ गुरुदेव दर्शन दीजो। तुम हो जगत के दाता, तुम हो जगत के दाता। तुम हो जगत के दाता, तुम हो जगत के दाता। तुम हो जगत के दाता। See what the line says? You sing all the time, but you didn't think about it. Ajnana Nashak. He's the one who removes, destroys Ajnana. That Guru. And then how? Ajnana Nashak, Sharana Samrakshak. Atma Jnana Pradata. Because he gives Atma Jnana. Not any type of Jnana. Atma Jnana. Only that can remove ignorance. Any other type of Jnana actually will build more ignorance. When we get, see, I tell you, when we get any kind of Jnana in this world, knowledge in this world, that thing puts another layer on the ego. I am a lawyer, you know. Don't mess with me, you know. Okay, we can get knowledge of the law. So now that put a thicker layer on the ego there, right? So the ego get a little more fat. Yeah. The ego get a little more weight. You see? There's some knowledge of law. And so in this world, any type of knowledge we get, it puts a little more weight on the ego. But Atma Jnana, knowledge of the self, Atma, is meant to rent us under all of this ignorance that is piled up on the ego. And the ego itself product of that ignorance. So he gives Atma Jnana. So he calls it Bandha Mochaka. And in the fourth case, Bandha Mochakaya Namaha. That's how the name comes. Okay, what a wonderful name of Puja Gurudev. So, we are seeing now chapter 11 of this Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And last night, when we left it, we were, last night where were we? Waterloo Mandir, just across from the museum there. So we were seeing 11, number 19. Right? That's where we've reached. Yes. I'll chant this verse. Anadimadhyantamanantaviryam anantabahum shashise suryanetram pashyami tvam deeptahutashavakram swatejasa vishwamidam tapantam swatejasa vishwamidam tapantam. If you're joining us here for the first time tonight, we're seeing the 11th chapter. It's called as Vishwa Darshana Yogo Nama. Virat Roop Darshan. Bhagavan has given Arjuna a vision of his supreme self, like that. Cosmic form. Arjuna is seeing all sorts of processes and things happening in the body of God, the body of the Lord himself. Then it is at the point now where we left it last night. Arjuna is seeing not only, please remember, God's manifestation, this manifested world in which we are living, is manifested with a duality, right? Dvandva. We have seen that before. Dvandva means a duality. And I'm telling you, if you are going to live in a real world, in this duality, you have to be able to recognize and appreciate not only one side of the duality. You will be living in some kind of false world, because the world, in every atom there is a positive and a negative. So you can't live in this world. See, I told you last night that there are many people in this world who say, look, and I told in the beginning, in the very first day when this yajna started, listen to this, people go on telling you, think positive, think positive, think positive, don't think negative. Have you heard positive thinking? In Vedanta we don't teach that. We don't tell think positive, think positive, think positive. We say think real. We don't think positive, no negative. Think real, because this world is made up of both positive and negative. You see, you go there, a cobra is standing there, and not standing, a cobra don't stand, no. Whatever they do, a cobra is there, right? And then you say, no, this cobra will not bite me. I'm thinking positive. Thinking positive. I'm remembering Lord Shiva, and the cobra will not bite me. Look here, you remember Lord Shiva, but run like hell from there to here. That is real. You mean to say you're thinking Lord Shiva, that is positive, that's okay. But the positive thinking will. That's why there's an Arabian saying. All of you have heard this already. Have trust in God, but first tie your camel. Have you heard? You come there, you leave the camel untied, and no, I have trust in God. He could take care of my camel. We say, think real. This world is made up of good people, saints and sages, pious, spiritual people. This world has full of them. This world also is made up of the most diabolical, criminal elements. Cruel to the bone. Have you seen? This is there in the world. So you don't need to think positive. You just first see the world, because in every atom both will be there. Now from that point you work. First accept what the world is. So in the first part of Bhagwan's Vishwa Rupa Darshan, which Arjuna saw here, Arjuna saw the Lord in all his great manifestations. He's bright like light and this and that. Now when we left it last night, we saw Arjuna has now started seeing not only the positive side, he started seeing the negative side of Bhagwan's manifestation. Because the world is Bhagwan's manifested as both positive and negative. And for this world to work, one more thing, you please understand, for this world to work, there must be the positive and negative, or nothing can work. So if you want to be charged absent in the atom, everything stalls. There's no world. The world will collapse. You see? You ever see a bicycle with one pedal? when one pedal is forward, one has to be backward. And this one goes backward and this one comes forward. You remove one of the pedal. Why you got pedal down? When it goes down to the bottom, it will stay there. There's no way for you to take it back. Two pedals must be there. Two-stroke university. Most wonderful. Yeah. So, this is demonstrated very nicely in this 11th chapter. The second thing which is going on here, the Lord is showing Arjuna all his manifestations in various, myriad forms, negative and positive. What is happening is that, I'll tell you something, this human being is made up of three main parts. There's a physical part of the human being, there's a psychological, mental part, emotional part that all go together, and then there's an intellectual part of the human being. So one is his physical self, then the emotional side of the human being where he feels this and feels that. People have all kind of feeling, good feeling and bad feeling. And then there's that intellectual side where the individual calculates and plans and analyzes and all that kind of thing, right? Judges and all. That is the intellectual side. 2 + 2 = 4. That's not a feeling. Either you know or you don't. I know for some people it's a feeling, but that is an intellectual operation, So, that is the intellectual part. Now, the human being has to make sure that all three parts of the personality are treated. All of them have to be treated. You can't just treat one part. That's why you see, some people, all brawn and no brain. Oh, what is you? Very good. He's like a donkey. A human being is all brawn and he has all strength and all. He should also have some brain. You can't just develop brawn. And there's other person, all brain and no brawn. He can't get up self. He know everything. And you have some people like that, and they know everything, but they really can't do anything. Oh, what do you mean? Since you know everything and you can't do anything. So all parts of the personality has to be developed. The person has to evolve on all fronts, not just one side. And I must tell you one more thing. Revolution takes place outside. Evolution takes place inside. So revolution is ample in the world. What we want is evolution. That has to take place from within. They say change must come from within. When that change that you make outside, that one fellow going, there's a vending machine. Is there a vending machine they have? They have soft drink and all that kind of thing. So he put some money inside a $5 bill and he presses what he wanted, a soft drink. So the soft drink came out and he took it, but no change came. $5, he's supposed to get $2.50 change. No change. Hit the machine, one kick. That's what people are doing. Hit the machine, one kick. Where my change? A card come out and you read the card. He said, change must come from within. Evolution, that must come from within. So here in this 10th chapter, we saw that nicely. Started in 7th, continued in 9th, in 10th, full chapter, and now 11th also. Bhagwan is trying to bring about an evolution in the emotional faculty of the human being, making Arjuna see his grandeur, his glory, his greatness, his vast myriad manifestations that is supposed to bring awe and inspiration to the heart of the devotee, so that in that heart will be softened towards the greatness and glory of God, not remain crude and rustic and primitive and cruel as he is being brought up in this very harsh environment of this world. Because that's what the world does. If we don't tend to that heart in this world, it will not become soft. It will become more and more hard, cruel. That is how the world is. So we have to tend to that. So this Virat Rup Darshan and Vibhuti Yoga of the 10th chapter and all of this, these are all groups of chapters meant to soften the heart, bring inspiration to the heart, so that we'll treat that part of the personality, the emotional part of the personality. Okay, this is what is going on here in the 11th chapter. And for that, a balanced evolution, a balanced development is required. That heart must learn how to appreciate things real, not utopian. Otherwise, people have all sorts of crazy ideas, crazy things in their mind, and People see all sorts of vision. They leave this world. Their minds depart from this real world in front of it. And people start visualizing and hallucinating and seeing things in the sky and thinking about other worlds and this and that. All that kind of thing. No, I'll tell you something. Nowadays you have information and software and Google where you could find out anything. You could find out anything on Google. Huh? So people proud to buy it. I find anything you want to know. Ask me. I find it on Google. Ask them, where your children they? I don't know. Their children live in here, live in there. What you don't know where children, but you know everything on Google. You can't find your own children. The human being has become like that now. We know all sorts of things, which is going on and all. What is going on inside our own house, inside those emotions and all, we really don't know. So to be able to come now inside and to tend to our emotions and all that, and chasten those emotions, purify them, make them God-inspired. This is what these chapters are meant for, all the way up to chapter 12. From chapter 13, he'll move to the intellectual realm. There you have to have some real intellectual capacity to apply that intellect to the ideas, deep metaphysical ideas which will be presented from chapter 13. Right now, we are tending to the heart, that emotional faculty. So, and I told there, Bhagwan treats with this world in a real way. You understand also that this world is not only made up of all the things which you have seen. So here we saw, Pashyami tvam deepta hutasha vaktram. I see that your mouth has become like a blazing inferno. No. Swatejasa vishwamidam tapantam. You are burning the whole world. Meaning to say what? Bhagwan is not only birth and rejuvenation and revival and all of that on one side, but Bhagwan also embodies death and destruction and disintegration and all that on the other side. Dissolution, you see. So the world is not only made up of only one side. When people have their mind only on one side, they get terribly heartbroken. Because everybody only going out thinking about life, longevity and living long and and extending your life, and then nobody thinking about death. And suddenly death comes, Yamaraj knock by your door. Suddenly Yamaraj knock by your door. Then Yamaraj say, then who is you? I am Yamaraj. What you come for? I come to take you. He said, but you so suddenly like that you come? So suddenly? You didn't give any warning, you sent me no email, nothing, you come in. Yamaraj say, you didn't read Ramayana. When Dasharat see the side getting grey, you know there is an email from Yamaraj. When wrinkle come, memory going, all that is message from Yamaraj. When all the joints starts squeaking and pain, anytime you get up and sit down, Ram. All that is message from Yamaraj. You wasn't paying attention. How you mean I come suddenly? So much I email I send you. So you have to understand that the world is not only made up of life, not only made up of springtime, but it is made up of autumn also, where all the leaves start dropping. So these fellas put all kind of ideas in my mind. So Bhagwan, now Arjuna, after seeing all the what we call the benevolent side of the Lord, now he'll see the other side, which is a very much part of the reality in which we exist and which you have to learn to accept in your heart, so that your heart will not be tossed on all sides as it usually is. You accept the world for what it is, right? Don't live in a fool's paradise and look we say no, we only see things positive way. We are not saying seeing positive or negative. We say see real, whatever is in front of you. Death is in front of you all the time or not? But you better learn to deal with it. Don't run, because one day, right now it's dogging your heels, one day it'll catch up with you. all of us. So now Arjuna sees the Lord's mouth like a blazing conflagration there, burning up the world. That continues now. See number 20. Dyava prithivyoridhamantaram hi vyaptananam vyaptam tvayaikena dishascha sarvaha drishtvaadbhutam rupamugram tavedam lokatrayam pravyathitam mahatman. I see rupam, tava idam rupam ugram. I see your terrible and dreadful form. Drishtva adbhutam, which is also, he's also calling it adbhutam. Adbhutam means that also amazing. See, you think about the inferno that is burning up the whole world, that is also has to be amazing. Why you only think that only when you see Niagara Falls, that is amazing? But only that is amazing or what? How Bhagavan can make a fire that burns the entire earth? But that has to be so amazing. You see? Adbhutam rupam ugram, it is dreadful. Lokatrayam pravyathitam mahatman. Oh Mahatma, oh great soul, Prabhu, it is scorching the whole three worlds. I mean, the upper, lower and middle. All the worlds are being scorched by this dreadful form of yours. Vyaptam tvayaikena dishashta sarvaha. By your form, which is pervading all sides and burning from every side. Dyava prithivyoridhamantaram hi. It is there in the sky, in the middle and here also, burning up all things. So, that is the other side of Bhagavan. Please understand that this world is made up of this, whether you like it or not. Amihi tvam surasangha vishanti kechid bhita pranjalayo grinanti swasti tyuktva maharshi siddha sanghaha stuvanti tvam stutibhi pushkalabhi rudraditya vasavo ye cha sadhyaha Vishveshvinau marutaschosmapascha Gandharva yakshasura siddha sanghaha Vikshante tvam vismitaschaiva sarve Amihi tvam surasangha vishanti. I see all these, the devatas, gods, all the different classes of beings. Vishanti, they enter. Where? You. They're entering you. Meaning this is, Arjuna is actually being shown here by Bhagavan now. What we call as dissolution. The dissolution of the universe means to say pralay. So now let me tell you a little bit about this. Is a technical thing, and you have to understand it as taught by the rishis, not that what you feel. As taught by the rishis, because they are Trikaladarshi, they are Sarvagnya, they know all the workings and machinations of the universe. So now, how it works like this. All things are already there. In the second chapter, we saw that nothing new is created in this universe. Please understand this very technical point. There is nothing new created in this universe. All things are already there in infinite in number. Infinite, there's no end. They are already there in the mind of Ishvara. So they are there in the mind of Ishvara in what we call as a avyakta or unmanifest form. Right? Just like the tree is there inside the mango seed in an unmanifest form. If you open the mango seed, you don't see any tree. But is that tree there? But it had to be there. Right? So it's called unmanifest. Like that, the entire universe in infinite forms already there in the mind of Ishvara. Now, from that infinite storehouse of forms, some forms start becoming manifest. Like for example, 25-30 years ago, there was no smartphone. There was no smartphone manifest. but there was a smartphone in the mind of Ishvara. And see how many varieties. So this smartphone started manifesting. Right? And they started manifesting and they became so smart that they became smarter than the people. Now the smartphone makes everybody dance, isn't it? So because when they release the smartphone, they release in Tokyo first. Because they get morning first. When they have to release it on the 25th. The 25th of such and such month. The 25th starts in Tokyo first. So they go there. Do you know people fly there to get the first one? That man had to buy a plane ticket to go to Tokyo to get the first phone. Who's smart? He or the phone? Well, the phone smarter than he, because the phone make he buy a ticket and fly all the way and line up there from 3 o'clock in the morning. See the power of phone. And this man say, yeah, wait, I'm coming. Phone has become smart. The whole world has become. Anyway, so in Ishvara, all of the things are there in unmanifest form and they manifest at different times. And then they also go out of manifestation. So some things are there, like the cord phone now. Well, it has nothing like cord phone, I think again, isn't it? One little smartphone. He watching a cord phone like this. So the cord phone, I wonder where the little fella watching me so far, man. The little smartphone watching he. Then the cord phone, after some time, he said, okay, Baba, okay. I admit, your ancestors did have tails. You have a tail hanging there, you know. So, that's gone out of manifestation now. Not there anymore. You see? Oakley and Musal. Gone. Now you have blender. All different types. See? So things come into manifestation and go out of manifestation. That doesn't mean to say that they have disappeared. They have just gone into unmanifest in the mind of Ishvara. And at different times, different lokas, different places in this universe, again they manifest. Dinosaurs came and they went. This is the technical understanding of the manifestation of the universe in Vedanta and the Upanishads and Vedas. Now, Bhagavan is showing Arjuna the dissolution part of the whole thing. And in that, Arjuna is seeing all of these things. What I'm seeing so many beings entering your mouth. Kechit bhita pranjalayo grinanti. And they are scared. And they put their hands together and they are worshipping you. They are doing prostrations to you. Swasti tyuktva maharishi siddhasanghaha. And rishis are praying to you and saying, Swasti, Swasti, may things be good. May things happen. You know, but the dissolution is going on. In dissolution, you know. Rishis also are praying to you like that. Stwantitvam sudhibi pushkalabihi. And they are worshipping you with flowers and hymns and flowery hymns, if you want to call it like that. All this Rudra Aditya Vasavo Ye Chasadyaha Vishveshvino Marutaschoshpapascha Gandharva Yaksha Surasiddhasanghaha Vikshante Tvam Vismitascha Pasarvi. All of these beings just listed here, they are all entering you. I see in dissolution there is no. When tsunami come, the tsunami are choosing this one and choosing that one, you know. In dissolution, every Tom, Dick and Harry from captain to cook, all man go in. Then let me tell you something. Only if there is some localized calamity, not the dissolution, localized calamity, and Bhagavan so wishes, one or two will be spared. But in dissolution, see, so how many different types of beings, you know who was spared? When Lanka got burned down, only Vibhishan's house wasn't burnt. That's a localized thing. See here. Rudras, all the Rudras, classes of beings who we saw before in 10th chapter. All the Rudras, Adityas, all Vasavaha, Vasus, Sadhyaha, different classes of divine beings. Vishvedevas, Ashvinau, Marutas, we saw all of these in 10th chapter. Ushmapaha, Ushmapas, Gandharva, Yaksha, Sura, Devas, means gods. All the celestial dancers and musicians, all of them, Vikshante Tvam Vismita, in pure amazement, lost their ability to think. They are all entering your mind, your mouth, your burning mouth. Arjuna is seeing the inferno in the Lord's mouth. This is called the fire of dissolution. He continues in the next verse. See this thing. Rupam mahatte bahuvaktra netram Mahabaho bahupahurutpadam Bahudaram bahudam shrakaralam Drishtva loka pravyatithasthathaham Navasprisham deeptahamanekavarnam Vyaptananam deepta vishalanetram Drishtva hitvam pravyatithantaratma Dhritim na vindami shamam cha Vishno Rupam mahatte bahuvaktra netram. I am seeing your form now with so many, this form of yours with so many, bahuvaktram, with so many mouths, bahunetram, so many eyes. Now see, Arjuna was seeing an inferno in the mouth of Bhagwan, and he has so many mouths. Where was the inferno? Everywhere. The Lord has mouths everywhere. See, seeing fire on all sides, burning. Mahabaho, bahubahu rupadam. I am seeing you with many. Bahu means arms. Uru, thighs. And padam, feet. Bahudaram, so bahu udaram, udaram means belly. So many bellies. I am seeing bahudam shrakaralam, and terrible teeth in your mouth. Drishtva loka pravyatithastaham. It is making the whole world disturbed, perturbed, and not only the world, aham also, me also. I am so disturbed by seeing this vision of yours, which you are showing me. And see, let me tell you something. Bhagwan also, any good teacher, let me tell you, any good teacher has to teach the world about both positive and negative. If you only teach about positive, you're making a weakling of that devotee, that student. He'll never be. There are some dogs, they grow up in houses. If you put them on the street, they're dead. Dog's dead. Because they have no street sense. The first car that comes along will knock him down. If we are learning under a guru and we learn only about the positive things in this world, and you're not exposed to negative things, you'll have lopsided development in your psyche. That type of person cannot function in the world. Therefore, you have to see the descriptions of our Puja Gurudev. He will be able to take an example from the mechanic shop of a mechanic. I'll give it. He himself uses. I'll tell you the example that he uses. And so many other type of examples from the world. He knows this side of the world and he knows also that side of the world. I'll tell you the example. See here, Gurudev. I wonder how he knew all of these things. When you press the clutch on a motor car, the clutch depresses called a clutch fork that protrudes into the gearbox, which pushes a release bearing, which disengages the clutch disc from the flywheel, and the car goes into what I call as neutral mode. It means to say the clutch disc is not now touching the flywheel, and so since there is no contact between these two things, the flywheel will be spinning, but the back wheel of the car will not be spinning. Anytime you press the clutch, that thing releases like that, right? When you release the clutch, the two of them touch again, and the power from the engine and the flywheel is transferred to the back wheel of the car, and the car goes forward. He says, in the very same way, you have to clutch off with your mind from the material things of this world. Right now, your mind is clutched on to the world. How he knew this example and all. And yes! The clutch and all. So what do you think? He only know how to do arti or what? There was a Mahatma par excellence, who knew about positive side as well as negative side, material world, spiritual world. He knew everything. So here Bhagavan is showing to Arjuna, no, there's a terrible side of me. You better learn to accept that. And he's seeing it, Ugram Rupam, terrible form of Bhagavan. And he's seeing so many bellies, Bahudam Shrakaralam, terrible teeth that resemble the fire of dissolution itself. Drishtva loka pravasitastaha. And the whole world is disturbed by this vision. When they see of infernal fire, the whole world has become so disturbed, including myself. Navasprasham deepta maneka varanam. There are different colors, and your fiery nature touches the sky itself. The inferno is so bad. It reaches to the edge of the sky also. Vyatananam deepta vishala netram. And your burning eyes. Now he sees fire in the eyes of Bhagavan also. An open mouth with fire, and open eyes now with fire also. Drishtva hitvam pravyatita antaratma. It shakes the very foundation of my being when I see it. Dhritim navindami sham cha Vishnu. Oh Vishnu. See, Arjuna calls Bhagavan Vishnu. I can't find peace in my mind. Shamam na Vishnu. I can't find strength to hold myself up when I see you in this form. When we start thinking like this also, that will bring strength to the heart. That you understand that this world is also made up of this thing. It will bring strength to our heart, fearlessness. In the 16th chapter, he'll teach Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi. Any devotee of God has to also learn to become fearless. Abhayam. A devotee who is full of fear and weakness, he'll never reach God. Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhyari Upanishatin. The weak will never experience God. God is for the one who is strong and fearless. So he's showing the reality. You have to show the reality to your children. He said, I tell you, we have a habit of bringing up weaklings as children. No, beta, you don't do that. I struggle hard. I will work hard, and I sweat and toil, and I don't want you to go through all that. Because you worked hard, that is what made you the man that you are, or the woman that you are. Hard work is good. But no. You don't want the children to see the hard side. You only want them to see the that way you're bringing up weakling. They will not experience anything in this life. Never evolve. They'll devolve. You have to allow them to meet face to face with the other side of life. That hardship is what makes them meekle in a human being. You want them to turn out to be spineless. What made you into the great person? You have to see the hard side of life also. So that is what is going on. Please pay attention to this. It's a very important thing. Bhagavan continues to show Arjuna this Virat Roop Darshan. Damshra karalani chate mukhani drishtve vakala nalasan nibhani Disho na jane na labhe cha sharma Prasida devesha jagan nivasa Amichatvam dhritarashtrasya putraha Sarve saheva vanipala sanghaihi Bhishma drona suta putras tathasau Sahasmadiyerapi yodha mukhyaihi Vaktrani te tvaramana vishanti Damshra karalani bhayanakani Kechid vilagna dashanantareshu Sandrishyante churnite ruttamangaihi Long meantime Prabhu, I see your terrible form and it shakes me to my core. Damshra karalani chate mukhani. Your terrible looking teeth in your mouth. And in between your teeth, I see this somebody Kauravas and I'm stick up inside. No. Vilagna dashanantareshu. Vilagna means in the space between your teeth there, I see somebody's Kauravas and not only that, Bhishma, Drona, everybody entering your mouth. So them stick up in your teeth there and I see your teeth coming down and crushing their heads also. No, see the terrible thing, eh? And don't tell me, Swamiji, don't say that. I think the song is so bad. You know one more thing it does? The human being is supposed to develop samatvam. Samatvam, you see, all of this is tied to this very important thing. In Bhagavad Gita, the most important teaching is samatvam. Samatvam means balance. Balance means you don't stay on this side, nor do you stay on that side. You remain in the middle, you remain balanced, you remain in a state of equilibrium, in a state of equipoise. This is the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. Don't find yourself hanging on one side. You get one-sided, lopsided. You see that? So we want a balanced state of mind, equilibrium. So, now, in other words, this human being has to understand very much that as much as there are nice and wonderful things in this world, there are terrible and cruel things in this world. Now see, in Bhagwan himself, he sees Bhagwan's teeth crushing the heads of these Kauravas. And not only that, not only Kauravas, some of the Pandavas also. Sutaputras tathasau. All the names are given here of people. Drishtva eva kala nalasannibhani. Your teeth and the fire in your mouth look like the fire of dissolution. Kala anala sannibhani. Kala anala means the fire of dissolution. And disho na jane na labhecha sharma. I don't know, it has bewildered my mind so much, I have lost all sense of direction. I don't know which is east, west, north and south. You get what we call disoriented. In Trinidad language that is called tutulbe. Tutulbe is a word like that, no? Tutulbe is French. Patwa. Tutulbe. But it means the same thing. Disoriented. Huh? You get chakkar. Start, you know which is north, south, east. Arjuna has become like that now. Nalabhecha Sharmana can't find peace at all. Prasida Devesha Jagannivasa. Oh Prabhu, the abode of the universe. Prasida. Please you be kind. Is this? Just now Arjuna will not be able to take this. He'll tell Bhagavan, please take away this. Take back these eyes. These divine eyes which you have given me. Ami Chatvam Dhritarashtrasya Putraha. The sons of Dhritarashtra, all of them I am seeing. Sarve Sahaiva Avanipala Sanghaihi. And not only them, but all the Avanipala, means all the denizens of the directions, those who protect the directions and all that. Bhishma, Drona, Sutaputra, Tatha Asau. All these Pandavas and Bhishma and Drona, Sahasmadiye Rapi, Yoda Mukhi, and our great warriors also from our side. What I am seeing? I am seeing Vaktrani te Turamana Vishanti. They are rushing into your mouth, into the jaws of death. Vaktrani te Turamana Vishanti. Damshrakaralani Bhayanakani. Your terrible looking teeth, Kechit Vilagana, all of them, some of them stuck in the middle of your teeth there. And Dashanantareshu. Drishtan Drishyante. Churintai Ruttamangai. And I see you chewing some of their heads and all. Churnitai Rut, it's a chew. Churnitai Ruttamangai. The word comes from there only. Churna in Sanskrit means powder. And something becomes powder only when you chew it. You see? So, this vision, now, one more thing. Arjuna uses a very nice word here. He says, Vaktrani te Tvaramana Vishanti. They are rushing. They are rushing to their death in your mouth. Let me tell you something. This is talking about us. We are all rushing into the jaws of death. In infinite time, in an infinite universe with infinite time, our 80 years here is a mere. That snap is too long. That snap in infinite time is too long. And therefore, we are all rushing into the jaws of death. The idea is how important it is that we find ourselves in satsang like this to use our 80 years, which is you just use the word 80, right? To use our 80 years to make sure that we evolve, because that snap and we are gone. Opportunity gone. Tulsidaji tells very nicely, what is this 80 years given for? Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. बरे भाग मानुष तन पावा, साधन धाम मोक्ष कर द्वारा। Asking half of that chopai diagonally. Because that is a relevant line. Bade bhag manush tan pawa. So fortunate we are to get this human birth, which I told you last how long? Nanosecond. What is it called? What is the next one now? Femtosecond. Yes. Which is much smaller than a nanosecond. That is how long we last. And Tulsidas says, because we are fortunate by the grace of God only. Bare bhagya manushatana. Bare bhagya means by Bhagavan grace only we have become so fortunate to get this human body. And what is it supposed to be used for? Sadhana dham mochakara dwara. It is an opportunity to do sadhana and a doorway to enlightenment, realization, God realization. It's our doorway. And that should not be used, wasted out like that. That is why it's so important that we find ourselves in this type of satsang here every single night. What a wonderful opportunity. And I see so many people sitting here who have been attending all the 108 so far. 65, 66 people are there every night. That is using the life fruitfully. Even in your daily work, people say, Swamiji, I have to work, take care of the family, this, that. There also, you should be thinking, I am taking care of God's children. You're taking care of the family, you're working and all that, but you're taking care of Bhagwan's children. There also you have to keep on remembering. You're doing His work only. We saw all that in 3rd and 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. In your daily work also, to invoke the presence of God, never to forget that He is the one who is supplying the energy and the wherewithal for you to work, and you're doing His work. Sarvakka nrvani manasa sanyasya dhyatma chetasa. That line in 3rd chapter is so good. Mentally renouncing all work to Bhagwan, remembering only Him. So these things, this has to be done. Why? Because we are all rushing into the jaws of death. Before you know it, let me tell you something. All the people who are my age here and over, you just think, just the other day I was in high school or not? You see? Yeah. Before you know it. And how did time gone so fast? So, Not only Arjuna is seeing, see what Arjuna is seeing there is an entire cosmic process in a nutshell. So he sees all the Kauravas and Pandavas and everybody rushing into the jaws of death. Tvaramana is haste, with haste. We are running into the jaws of death with haste. Like as though that be destiny, man. We can't wait to get there. That's the kind of feeling of the word. You have to get that feeling of that word in Sanskrit itself. It's amazing. As though, people, somebody trying to, I tell you something. That like, some fellow in front of you, he driving slow and he keeping your back. I think the man might be doing you a good. But we rush into so the things in the world, the satsang and everything is there is meant, but we rushing towards our death like that. They're very strong. If you read that and you understand that in the Sanskrit itself, that word itself is supposed to shake you. Tvaramana vishanti, entering with great haste, entering to our death. And there, Bhagwan is showing Arjuna all the other side of this wonderful, you have to say wonderful universe. Why? Because it is so perfectly balanced between what you call good and what we call as terrible on the other side. And if you really study the universe like this, you will appreciate Bhagwan's manifestation so wonderfully. It's amazing how he has manifested this universe. It will blow your mind. But you see, you have to go on thinking real. Don't think, some people say, let me tell you something. Human mind is like that. Some people mind only think negative things. No matter how much positive thing you try to tell them to think, he only thinks negative. Then that other person, he lives in some kind of utopian world. He's only thinking positive. I'm only thinking positive thing. I'm not going to think anything about negative thing. There is negative thing in the world. Why you denying the other side now? You jump from this side to the next side. We don't want you to swing like a pendulum. We want you to remain balanced. So that is what is being taught. Okay. All right. Now, we will stop here for tonight. And we'll continue tomorrow morning.